Personal finance on Smooth 98.
All right, Lagos, 16 minutes going past five, and you are tuned in to Personal Finance here. And it is going to be an interesting conversation because we'll be talking about how we can build discipline while investing through the stocks. But I will not be having this conversation alone. I have with me Adegoke Adetoyinbo. He is the investment associate at AAG Capital. Good evening. Good to have you with me.
Good evening, Joyce. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
All right, Lagos. As always, you know what to do. However, if you don't, if you're just tuning for the first time and wondering, how can you be a part of this conversation? Well, what you need to do is share your thoughts with me on WhatsApp, 0809 4440981. And if you also want to catch a glimpse of what we look like while having this conversation, you can come through on YouTube. Yes, youtube.com/smooth 981 FM Lagos. And you can get all that. Can catch a glimpse of what's happening and see how Adegoke looks like more or less. All right, Lagos. Let's get into the conversation. And indeed, it's going to be an interesting one because when it comes to investments, we're always told, oh, everybody has risk appetite and all the good stuff. But I'm wondering, can one realistically build wealth from just buying stock?
I mean, thank you, Joyce, for having me once again. So my definitive answer will be yes. Realistically, you can build wealth.
Realistically. Okay. I like that.
Realistically, you can build wealth off of stock investing. I mean,
Okay.
let's look outside of us and let's look at the bigger picture.
Right.
The the wealthiest guys in the world, yeah, their their wealth are quoted on the back of equity in their business or
True.
investing in other businesses by
True.
owning stock in other businesses. So, I mean, and let's come back to Nigeria here. Top guys like Dangote, Rabiu, Tony Elumelu, these
Hmm.
guys get rich off having equity stakes in their businesses, which is listed on stock exchange, and people
Mm.
also there. And yeah, so when I say realistically, although it is not like automatic blue passport to wealth creation, but it is a
Okay.
remaining realistic pathway to wealth creation.
That's all right. As long as we're not being delusional and thinking, okay, they said that that's the way, so that's the only way we need to tap in. No, being realistic means you need to open your eyes, have the right managers that will also direct you on the path you need to go. And talking about that, yes, when it comes to stocks, some people say that stocks are riskier, yes,
Yeah.
than bonds, uh, even compared to treasury bills. But I want to know, how much care should one take when investing in stocks? Should one be afraid that if you put your hand in hot water, you will get burned? Or is it the one that, that, you see over flame? If you keep dancing around, just putting it there, it will warm your hand. But if you put it there for long, it's going to leave marks.
Yeah, I mean, it's be like that. However, I mean, it all boils down to your investment objective,
Okay.
the risk profile. I mean, no one starts building a house without factoring in cost and other things. So,
Right.
so your investment objective, I mean, any financial advisor will tell you what are your investment objectives? What is your why for investing?
Okay.
Your risk profile, how much of a risk can you take?
Cool.
And for what duration, time horizon? I mean, if you are looking at a long time, stock
Mm.
investing is really, but if you are looking at a
Short
short,
term.
hey, money market securities, treasury bills, and all those short time to manage your cash flow. So it all boils down to you understanding your risk profile and why you're investing. So yeah, that way you won't get burned. Yeah.
I like the fact that you also still clarified that way you won't get burnt, because nobody wants a situation where they're burning your finger. You can't there's no way out of it. It's just downward spiral, and that in itself is just worrying. But yes, indeed, like I said, Lagos, you can also share your thoughts as well. You have questions come through, and we'll definitely will factor that in on the conversation. But whilst we're here, I want to quickly find out how can one just casually follow the stock market to track the performance of Nigerian stocks? How, especially for someone who's not really been there for a bit, but you've been hearing, oh, okay, they say, oh yeah, go through just look at what the stock market offers. Then maybe that way it will open your mind or your thoughts to the things you can get, the things you can improve on, or generally just have a sense of it. And I'm there and I'm looking, excuse you, all that they're saying is gibberish. So how does one just literally just look through the stock markets and track to know what is a good option and what's not, or how basically to just function in that space?
So the quickest way and easiest way now is, I mean, there's a governing regulatory body, and they have it.
Okay.
That's the NGX. So easy access with people with a non-finance background. So I'm trying to be as basic as possible.
Oh,
So
okay.
we can
Fair
be on
enough.
the same
Fair
level.
enough. Go
So
ahead. Go
you
ahead.
have to pick up your device, type www.ngxgroup.com. So there, right there, you can have access to disclose publicly listed companies, their
Mm,
prices, and host of other disclosure. Maybe they are closing for the financial year or they are paying dividend. So host of corporate disclosure, you have access right on that page. But
mm,
they have actually gotten much better in terms of reaching out to
mm.
uh, population that are not tech savvy or tech inclined. So
Okay.
with your mobile device, you can use your USSD code of *5474#.
Mm,
Actually, track daily prices of any stock you want, top gainers today, top losers today, and you can even actually inquire about opening a brokerage account. So using USSD code, you can have access to that. I know you're trying that right away. Uh,
you know this. Already typing in and like, okay, okay. Is it something I want to get into already? Hey, knowledge is it's important that whilst you're getting this knowledge, you want to be applying it as it comes. And that's who I am. And I'm wondering, okay, since Adegoke is sharing this, might I just try and figure out if it's where I need to be or if there's more homework for me? So, hey, Lagos, as they say, strike while the iron is hot, and that's what I'm doing. And while I'm striking, let's get into the market itself. So I know that the presently the market seems to have returned about 37% in what as at 2024. It had 37% that it was able to get. But so far this year, it's seen just about 6%. That
yeah.
makes me wonder, uh, and makes me ask, basically, is it safe to say that we won't replicate what we had in 2024 in terms of performance? Seeing where we are now, it's just 6%, 6%. 2024 was 24. What exactly is happening?
Joy, I mean, you, I think part of you, you are very real and you don't want to live in a bubble. I mean,
No, I don't.
comparing last year performance 37% to what we have now. I mean, we're in the fifth month of the year.
Yes.
As that yesterday, market did around 6%. As that today, good news, market close positive though. We are up 8%.
Oh, Awesome. So now we're 8%. Okay. So
So if we look at it, all share index, NGS all share index track all stocks and give a certain return at the end of the year and at the beginning of the year, so you can compare and contrast. Oh, this is the return.
okay.
But mind you, like that all share index,
It's not the benchmark per se. It's just okay, we're
like
speculating and basically
exactly
this is what
like
we're
a
working
basket
with.
of fruits, like a basket of fruits.
Right.
And in that basket of fruits, you have watermelon, apple, grape, pineapple, all in that. You would have
Mm-hmm.
noticed that even in the basket, fruit like pineapple is less heavier than fruit like watermelon. Watermelon is more
Almost
heavy.
definitely. It's heavier.
Yeah. So in that index also, we have some stocks that are very heavy. So
Mm,
performance, a renewed interest, investor renewed interest in those stocks, like let me say, top five stocks in the index control about 50% of the index. So
right.
good news about any of the stocks can actually, could be a good upside for the overall index. And, in the fifth month, we have
Mm,
extra 7 months. I mean, 7 months is a lot of time, like it's a lot of
I
period.
know.
Yeah. A good interest in those top five or top 10 stocks can actually
Mm,
give the market a good return, and we are up to 2024 level again. And
wow.
so let me not say that. So yeah, there's still lots of room for activity.
Improvement.
Yeah,
Well, I would say that this is just the fifth month. We're gradually getting out of it. If at yesterday evening or today, still looking, well, the market hasn't closed just yet. So as I yesterday it was 8%. Who knows? Maybe before I close of business today, it could just be 10 or even 12. So fingers crossed. We still have
yeah,
6 more months to go. We've not gotten to June. So things could
seven.
just pick up. So Lagos, fingers crossed, fingers crossed. You and I are here together and we're looking at how things can improve. I'm all about the positives. I'm all about the positives. So I'll definitely be looking forward to the market and everything that it brings. But as always, you know what to do. If you want to share your thoughts, come through on WhatsApp 0809 I'd love to hear from you. If you have a question, if you also think that there's an upward trajectory that uh well, hopefully that we can improve on. I'd love you to share your thoughts as well. Also, you know, we'll have a quick breather coming through in a bit, but before we get into that, I'd like you to marinate on this, and it has to do with our banking sector, right? And I'm wondering, why is the banking sector of the Nigerian Stock Exchange more active than any other um entity? Let me put it that way, because yeah, it sometimes is interesting when I see what's happening in that space. And I'm like, but these are just banks. How come it's not other things that are, vying for this position? But yeah, I want you to marinate on that. When we get back in from this quick breather, you definitely will be sharing your thoughts. And Lagos, if you have more questions, you have anything interesting as well, you'd love to share, come through. No worries. I think okay, we'll be able to break them down in as understandably in a layman's term, not in their own term, in a layman's term that you can understand. So, like I was still going to stay tuned to Smooth 98.1. Well, we're good so far. Just a quick one. Go back in.
Get ready for the most anticipated events in women's sports. The Ladies in Sports International Summit is coming up on June 12th and 13th at the Balmoral Hall, Oregon, right here in Lagos. We're celebrating a major milestone, 10 years of empowering women in sports. Join us for inspiring discussions, networking opportunities, and a celebration of female excellence in sports. And that's not all. We've got a special treat for you, a mini concert to send off our national team as they embark on their national assignment. Don't miss it. Mark your calendars for June 12th and 13th. Register now and be part of this unforgettable experience. For registration, visit www.ladiesinsport.com. This event is proudly supported by Smooth 98.1 FM and Stanbic IBTC. Ladies in Sports International Summit, where women in sports rise.
It's all about your finances made easy because financial education is about not working for money, for money. Personal finance on Smooth 98.1.
Right, let's get back in. Yes, Lagos, it is 32 minutes gone to 5, and you are tuned into Smooth 98.1 Personal Finance here. And today we are taking a look at how one can build discipline while making investments and building through stocks. And my guest who is still with me is Goke Adetoyinbo. He is an investment associate at AAG Capital, and he's been breaking it down for us to understand in the simplest of terms what we need to do, how we can improve, especially for those who are always looking at making investments in the stock markets and every other place. But now let's come to, the interesting question I posed before we went on that quick breather, and has to do with banking sector and why they're the most active when it on the market. What exactly is it, and why are they always there? I always see them, and it amazes me because times past we still had them on the stock exchange. Some have been liquidated now, some have been bought over, and the likes. But you still have them there. Is the market saying that banks are the best companies operating in Nigeria?
Yeah, Joe, if you put it that way, well, that you are right in a part.
Okay.
The reason why banking sector uh, is regarded as the most active of, and their stock are actively trading on the floor of the exchange. I will just mention two or three reasons, and I'll try
Okay.
to be as basic as possible. So there is a concept of liquidity
Mm.
in the market, and which is the product, which is a byproduct of free floats. So
Mm.
instead of exchange, maybe you have, for example, you have as a public listed entity, you are listing 10,000 units of your share for investors to subscribe.
Right.
So they call
Right.
outstanding shares. Then NGS has this rule that is either you have 20% of that outstanding share listed tradable on the exchange or in excess of 20 billion in value. So for banking, their stocks has over 80%
Mm.
free floats. So it's liquid. People can trade, come in and out. There's always a willing buyer, willing seller.
Oh,
Exactly. So, it's all
that
over
makes sense.
it's tradable easily. So
Mm.
it has higher free floats. And that subsequently helps with market liquidity. As at today, as at the close of market today, UBA remained the most liquid stock on the exchange. Yeah, that's
Wow.
it back.
I was going to say something, but it's best not to.
So, and
Yeah.
also in banking, they are regulated. They're under the scrutiny of CBN. So we barely see
Okay.
issue
Okay.
of corporate governance issue or anything. So they are very,
Right.
and in terms of profitability, also made even across every phase of the economy during recession, during different policy changes, bank has consistently returned profits to shareholders, and they maintain and provide value for shareholders. And even in terms of paying dividend, also they are consistent. You look at the dividend history, so you want to be part of something like that.
Makes
Exactly.
sense. Actually does make sense. But yes, whilst the banks seem to be making sense of what it is and they know how to tap into the market properly, it seems like the insurance stock is not that active, and it makes me wonder, is is it that the insurance uh insurance markets or insurance themselves haven't tapped into this market properly, or they're not making they don't got into Nigerians enough so that they are also, vying, or people are buying their stocks like you would have the banking in the banking sector.
I mean, I would say the insurance industry in Nigeria has low market penetration when it comes to people subscribing to their products.
Mm.
Very,
Mm.
I mean, we've seen, I mean, probably due to our society, if you look at the foreign countries
Oh
like
yes,
United Kingdom,
they deal a lot in insurance. They was going
insurance
out.
industry is like an integral part of the economy.
Indeed.
You're meant to insure your house, you're meant to insure your car, or any valuable property.
Everything.
So, so there's this law, government's law enforcing that for you to,
Mm.
and so that created a market for the business. So
Okay.
in Nigeria down here, we haven't really, insurance sector hasn't really tapped into there. And you would agree with me. I mean, even not for recent times, I think that's 2023. The Nikon National Insurance Commission asked to actually revise
A
the
lot
what's
of the yeah, a
of
lot
part.
of their laws so that it could before third party insurance was like the best thing you'd hear. And it was so minimal when it came to that. So yeah, improvement. So I agree with you
Um,
on that one. Mm. Okay. Well, I hope that the that industry is able to tap in and figure out how the banking sector has been able to gain stay and also improve in that sector as well. Well, let's leave them, those high and mighty and the ones who are trying to get in. And let's even talk about the different sectors of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Which would you say is the field you love to play in? If I shall, I'm trying to tap in to get insight so I know where I need to be focusing my energies.
yes, yeah. I mean, the essence of investing is your ability to actually exit when you want to.
Okay.
So you are not stuck in holding a stock for a long time. So
Oh, okay.
so you want to factor a liquid stocks, more liquid sector. And like I said
Mm,
earlier, you want to go for the banking sector and the financial services. So banking sector, you at least you rest assured if you're coming in your time horizon, everything calculated in place. Whenever you decide to exit, there's a ready buyer when you're
all
exiting.
right. Makes sense.
And you want to look at critical sectors that are contribute to the economy.
Okay.
So I would say you want to look at the agro sector.
Mm, uh-huh.
You want
That's
to look,
another interesting place.
want to look at the agro sector. I mean, these are it's like the backbone of every economy, especially for Nigeria. We still depend on the sector, and the few
Mm.
listed players on that sector on the Nigeria Stock Exchange are palm oil producers, and they are profitable at that. So you want to look at that sector. I wouldn't mention names, but I mean,
No, no, it's fine.
I know
No,
it's
let's not
very
mention names before people will say, okay, okay,
exactly.
so that's where we need to go. No, you need to do your research, and if you have a good financial manager, they'll
Yeah.
do the work for you. Yeah, don't. Well, I'm not saying you should not do your, due diligence. If you decide you want to do it all on your own, well, wish you all the best. But if you have the right financial managers, takes that whole stress off of you, and all you do is smile, literally, to the bank. Okay. whilst we're marinating on that, I definitely want to know, when it comes to building, and it's a continuous cycle that we're always looking at building and making, um, profits from our stock and all that. I want to know, how can one now complement investments in stocks? Because I see how bonds, I hear about bonds, I hear about securities and all those things. Would other securities include, like bonds and money markets, also play a factor into this? Or do I just stick to one place and just enjoy that space?
I mean, see, this speaks to a diversified portfolio now.
Okay.
As an investor, you ought to have a balanced portfolio.
Hmm.
If you are if you are investing, I mean, any financial advisor, okay, after getting you perspective, and they can formulate optimal strategy to actually achieve that for you. And so a balanced portfolio is the one that has a real estate investments in it,
Oh, okay.
at least for
Mm.
capital preservation and appreciation
Hmm.
gradually. And a balanced portfolio is the one that has exposure to money market, treasury bill, bonds to a part, to a certain level. So, I mean,
Mm.
within 2, 3 months of needing cash, you can exit your, investments in NCBs quickly. So you are now, you are able to have cash flow to actually attend to your daily needs. Then balanced portfolio is the one that has, exposure to equity now also.
Okay.
All those things must be, appropriately be in place. So your
Mm.
portfolio manager or your investment advisor will tell you there should be a certain maybe 20% in bonds, in fixed income, 30% in equity. They have different strategy to actually formulate a, optimal diversified portfolio for you to achieve that stated investment objective. So, I mean, those things complement investment in stocks also because investing in stocks is long term. If you have
I
to,
agree. I
you
agree.
have to actually make the best of it because there will be
Mm.
volatility week in, week out.
Ah.
You zoom out and see long picture, you will see that yeah, it's worth staying in the long term for. So yeah, it has to be balanced to mix watching it to me.
Okay. I like the fact that you said we need to have a balance when it comes to our portfolio so we'll be able to get the benefit of everything. Well, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts this evening. And I'm sure that Lagos has learned a thing or two, especially when it comes to making the right investments. And if you have further questions, how can one reach out to you on your social media handles?
Uh, you can send a mail to research at aagcapital.com or uh personal social media handle. I would say you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. That's where you find.
Okay. Awesome, awesome.
Yes, search
Makes it a whole lot easier, you know. I will just go there, search. And how are we searching? What name are we looking for? So
Goke
we're not confused.
Goke Adetoyinbo.
All right, all right. Thank you so much. Lagos, well, this is where we're cutting today on personal finance. I hope that you would be making the right decision when it comes to building your portfolio, but making sure that you're doing everything with discipline and precision. But as always, you need to ask your financial advisor, so your financial manager, so they know how to help you, especially with your risk appetite. You know where and what suits you. But on the other side, with more music, and then at 6, I'll come back to take your reactions. Still music. I know I already seen some reactions, but you know what, Lagos got you up on the other side. As always, you need to stay tuned to Smooth 98.1 because we love music, we love life, and we love sharing updates with you.
your earnings, your spending, your savings.
All right, thank you so much. It was really, really an interesting conversation.